Well, again, welcome to Daily Scriptures with Mrs. Gross Ministries. I'm Evangelist Wally Beck, and today is March 16th. Praise the Lord. Numbers 29 to 30, the 16th verse. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work. For you, it is a day of blowing the trumpets. You shall offer a burnt offering as a sweet aroma to the Lord, one young bull, one ram, and 7 lambs in their first year, without a blemish. Their grain offerings shall be fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering to make atonement for you. Besides the burnt offering with its grain offering for the new moon, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings according to their ordinance, as a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. And on the 10th day of this 7th month, you shall have a holy convocation, and you shall afflict your souls. You shall not do any work. You shall present a burnt offering to the Lord as a sweet aroma, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year. Be sure they are without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering. Besides the sin offering for atonement, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings. And on the 15th day of the 7th month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work, and you shall keep a feast to the Lord 7 days. You shall present a burnt offering, an offering made by fire as a sweet aroma to the Lord, 13 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year. They shall be without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each of the 13 bulls, 2/10 for each of the 2 rams, and 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offerings, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 2nd day, present 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offering to the bull, for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 kid in the goats of a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, and their drink offerings. And on the 3rd day present 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs, in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering, and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering and its grain offering and its drink offering. On the 14th day present 10 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. And on the 15th day, present 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams and for the lambs, by their number, according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering and its grain offering and its drink offering. On the 6th day present 8 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offering for the bulls and the rams and for the lambs, by their number, according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offerings and its grain offering and its drink offerings. On the 7th day present 7 lambs, or 7 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offering, and the bulls and the rams and the lambs, by their number according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offerings, its grain offering, and their drink offerings. On the 8th day you shall have a sacred assembly. You shall do no customary work. You shall present a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, as the sweet aroma to the Lord. 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bull, for the ram, and for the lambs, by their number, according to the ordinance. Also 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. These you shall present to the Lord at your appointed feast, besides your vowed offerings and your freewill offerings, as your burnt offerings and your grain offerings, as your drink offerings and as your peace offerings. So Moses told the children of Israel everything, just as the Lord commanded Moses. Then Moses spoke to the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord has commanded. If a man makes a vow to the Lord, or swears an oath to bind himself to some agreement, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. Or if a woman makes a vow to the Lord, and binds herself by some agreement, while in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow and the agreement by which she has bound herself, her father holds his peace, then all her vows shall stand, and every agreement with which she has bound herself shall stand. But if her father overrules her on the day that he hears, then none of her vows nor her agreements by which she has bound herself shall stand, and the Lord will release her, because her father overruled her. If indeed she takes a husband, while bound by her vows, or by a rash utterance from her lips, by which she bound herself, her husband hears it, and makes no response to her on that day he hears, that her vows shall stand, and her agreements by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband overrules her on the day that he hears it, he shall make void her vow which she took, and what she uttered with her lips, by which she bound herself, and the Lord will release her. Also, any vow of a widow or a divorced woman by which she has bound herself shall stand against her. If she vowed in her husband's house, or bound herself by an agreement with an oath, and her husband heard it, and he made no response to her and did not overrule her, then all her vows shall stand, and every agreement by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband truly made them void on a day he heard them, then whatever proceeded from her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the agreement binding her, it shall not stand. Her husband has made them void, and the Lord will release her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict her soul, her husband may confirm it, or her husband may make it void. Now, if her husband makes no response whatever to her from the day to day that she confirms all her vows or all her agreements that bind her, she confirms them, because he made no response to her on that day. that he heard them. On that day he heard them. But if he does make them void after he has heard them, then she shall bear her guilt. But if he does not make them void, she shall bear her guilt. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between a man and wife, between a father and his daughter, in her youth, in her father's house. Psalms 34, 15-22. And the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their cry. The face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears, and delivers them out of their troubles. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart, and saves such from a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. He guards all his bones. Not one of them is broken. Evil shall slay the wicked, and those who hate the righteous shall be condemned. The Lord redeems the soul of his servants, and none of those who trust in him shall be condemned. Proverbs 11, 30-31. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life. He who wins souls is wise. If the righteous will be recompensed on the earth, how much more the ungodly and the sinner. Mark chapter 14, 27-54. Then Jesus said to them, All of you will be made to stumble because of me this night. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the shepherd will be scattered, and the sheep will be scattered. But after I have been raised, I will go before you to Galilee. Peter said to him, Even if we all are made to stumble, yet I will not be. Jesus said to him, Assuredly I say to you today, even this night, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. But he spoke more vehemently, If I have to die with you, I will not deny you. But they all said likewise. Then he came to a place which was named Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, Sit here while I pray. And he took Peter, James, and John with him, and he began to be troubled and deeply distressed. Then he said to them, My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. Stay here and watch. So he went a little further and fell on the ground, and he prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not that I will, but what you will. Then he came and found them sleeping. And he said to Peter, Simon, are you sleeping? Could you not watch 1 hour? Watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And again he went away and prayed and spoke the same words. And when he returned, he found them asleep, saying, For their eyes were heavy, and they did not know what to answer him. Then he came the 3rd time and said to them, Are you still sleeping and resting? It is enough. The hour has come. Behold, the Son of Man is being betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand. And immediately while he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, with a great multitude with swords and clubs, came from the chief priests and the scribes and the elders. Now his betrayer had given them a signal, saying, Whoever I kiss, he is the one. Seize him and lead him away safely. And as soon as he had come, immediately he went up to him and said to him, Rabbi, Rabbi, and he kissed him. Then they laid their hands on him and took him. And one of those who stood one of them that stood by drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. Then Jesus answered and said to them, have you come out as against a robber with swords and clubs to take me? I was daily with you in the temple, teaching, and you did not seize me, but the scriptures must be fulfilled. Now a certain young man followed him having a linen cloth thrown around his naked body. And the young man laid hold of him, and he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. And they left Jesus away to the high priest, and with him were assembled all the chief priests, the elders, and the scribes. But Peter followed him at a distance, right into the courtyard of the high priest, and he sat with the servants and warmed himself at the fire. Thank you, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow.